I will jump on stage at the beginning. I'll do a program update and some highlights of the demo. Mike will also say a few words, because we've got our Keynote from Incubate tonight, which is big quite sure. And then I'll invite them to start on stage. Pitch, and then basically as soon as we finish pitching, you guys can ask a question each. And then I'll jump on and introduce the next slide. And I'll be here hosting, so there's no general there's no judging, so there's nothing to call that. It's just we want these questions to be bonus rather than building. So make the questions straight and yeah, go. Yes, and that is still on screen. Good evening. Sorry, that was quite a loud alert. But good evening. Please do take a seat. There are a couple of seats. I might be lying actually. There are no seats at the front. Please do take a seat where possible. And if there's a empty seat next to you, please do just shove along so everyone can fit in. It's fantastic to see so many people here today. My name's James Alexander. I am the program manager of Incubate. Welcome to our distinguished guests, mentors, sponsors, industry, and of course the startups and entrepreneurs and students in the audience. It's really great to see a fantastic turnout tonight. Before I throw our startups on stage, I'm just going to give you a bit of a short introduction to Incubate, an update on the program, if you don't know about the program and some of our achievements recently, as well as from our alumni. We've got quite a lot now. And then we're going to have a short keynote from Bill Simpson-Young of NICTA, one of our longest sponsors for Incubate. And then we'll jump straight into the startups pitches. First of all, a bit of a shameless plug. If you're on Twitter, and I'm sure some of you are, please do follow me on Twitter. We can continue the conversation after this. I tweet a lot about student entrepreneurship and technology. Of course, the official Sydney Incubate handle is Sydney Incubate as well on Twitter. So, if you don't know what Incubate is, quite simply, we help student entrepreneurs build innovative startups at university. We have a lot of applications for very few places. Currently, 8 startup places in each intake at Sydney University. We range from 50 to 100 applications. And they're very competitive applications, and each time they get better and better. All the startups you'll see tonight have been through a 14-week accelerator program. That includes weekly mentoring, skills-based workshops from some fantastic advisory firms such as Paul Chadwick, Allen Legal, and our mentors. And on top of that, all of this is possible because we've got a fantastic dedicated team. If you're interested in getting involved in the program or becoming a mentor, find any one of us during networking, and please do say hi. A little bit of the program update now. So we are now into our 5th class of startups. It is group 5. We've been running the program for just a little over 2 years. So we've seen a lot of startup companies come through. We now have over 100 mentors part of our mentor network, over 15 industry supporters that provide us with free services for our startups. In the last 2 years, we've backed 40 startups in total. So in 24 months, 40 startups, and 52% are still active. I think that's a really great success rate still. Our startups are made up of 78% male co-founders and 22% female co-founders. That's my phone. And while this is only slightly above the industry average, we believe we can do a lot more. And we want Incubate to be a leader in fostering women entrepreneurs at university. And later this year, we're going to be announcing a new women's mentoring program. On top of this, our average age of our startup founders is 22. This makes our accelerator program one of the youngest in terms of age of co-founders, and we're very proud about that. We really enjoy helping first-time entrepreneurs. But that does not mean they're not without tenacity. And our startups have raised over 3.1 million to date. And by next demo day, I expect this figure to increase significantly. This means that of the 40 companies we've seen, we've got a combined valuation of just over 10 million Australian dollars. And I think that's fantastic for a program that's only 24 months old. Kudos for Class 5. For the mentors that have helped us through the process of the last 14 weeks, our board members who come through on a monthly basis to help our startups, our mentor match participants, which is essentially mentor speed dating. It's a lot of fun if you haven't been involved. And of course, our workshop facilitators. This is an example of one of our mentoring sessions. It's called Mentor Match. It's where we get to cycle the mentors through 8 startups in 10-minute successions. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way for the mentors to meet a lot of the talented student startups.
Of course, we're always looking for mentors, so if you are interested, please do come and find us. The one crucial requirement we always need is that there's a belief in helping new entrepreneurs and a belief in helping new entrepreneurs based on technological innovation as well. Tonight, I'm also very, very proud to announce a new program partnership with the University of Sydney. With this partnership, we hope to foster even more talented student entrepreneurs across multiple disciplines and connect them with our experienced entrepreneurial alumni who are now all around the globe. This is an exciting partnership, and a full announcement will be coming soon. I'd also like to acknowledge our university partnership with Monash is ongoing. In fact, they're running an Incubate program right now, and everyone here tonight will be invited to the Monash Demo Day in Sydney, and there's also one happening in Melbourne next month. Okay, on to some fun stuff. So you're probably all wondering, if we've been doing this for 2 years, what have all the other startups that have been through our program learned? Well, I can tell you, they're kicking goals and they're making progress. Zakuri, who make luxury eyewear that you can't lose, have raised $490,000 in their first seed round from Sydney and Melbourne Angels. Edison, who came through our first program and making a wearable watch for the elderly, have raised $240,000 from Hills Industries. Trimgel, our biotechnology company, which inventor is a student at Sydney University, received a $50,000 donation from a large biotech company, and in collaboration with Sydney University has been awarded a $500,000 NHMRC grant, which I think is a great result. And there's 3 more announcements to become, but unfortunately I can't see anything right now. Hopefully by next demo day I'll be able to announce them. Some of the highlights over the last 12 months, PickPack has surpassed 400,000 users. So within 6 months, they've surpassed over 400,000 users. They're now seeing 20,000 videos uploaded per day, and that's increasing at a huge rate. PickPack is a stop motion app. So if you like stop motion videos and you have an Android phone, do download it. And they're just about to release the Apple one, so we're very excited to see what will happen. Makeup Social, the founder of Makeup Social is pictured up here on the screen. Orawan is a beauty network for women to share beauty advice. They've surpassed 100,000 users on their mobile app. Trimgel, as I mentioned before, are now collaborating with a very large international biomedical company. And BreatheWell has been accepted into ATPI portfolio, and they've appointed their first CEO. And for those of you who don't know BreatheWell, it's a cancer treatment app that helps treat cancer. Needless to say, at Incubate, we really believe in making our startups entrepreneurial leaders, so they're not just fantastic startups, but also leading entrepreneurs. And we've received a number of awards, as you can see up on the screen here. I'm not going to go through them all, but that's just a few. On top of this, we get some really fantastic media across the Australian, Fairfax, Daily Telegraph. That's local. There's also been international coverage from some of our startups end of last year. And to finish on an update from our startup alumni, this is Pod Plants. They've created the first vertical plug-and-play wall gardens. What that means is essentially you can get these wall gardens for a fraction of the cost due to their patented hydroponics technology. And on top of that, we'll hopefully be seeing these pod plants all around Sydney, including in Bengaluru. And a last update from the Zakuri boys, who are making the luxury sunglasses I mentioned before, and if you came to one of our previous demo days, you would have seen the pitch. To give you a quick idea, they're well on their way to shipping the first batch of sunglasses. They've created this small Bluetooth chip that they embed in the frame of your sunglasses so that if you leave them on the ground, your phone will let you know that you've left your sunnies behind. That just happens to be the world's smallest iBeacon chip, also the world's most powerful now. And that gives you an example of some of the prototypes that they just came back with from Japan. So we're really excited to see what they do in the next 6 months. I'd now like to invite our longest sponsor, Bill Simpson-Young, Director from NICTA, onto the stage to say a few words. Hi, so I want to say a few words about our relationship with Incubate, why we've been sponsoring Incubate for so long and why we will continue to do so, and just how I'd encourage anyone else to sponsor Incubate as well. So, for those who don't know, NIC is Australia's largest ICT centre of excellence in information communication technology centre of excellence. So we do a lot of research in computer science and related technologies. We have partners with 22 universities around Australia and have around 700 staff. So we as well as doing research, we build a lot of technology, get a lot out the door in use. My role is head of the engineering group, so my group build all the real world software and have it get out into real world use. And so we currently generate about 4 spin outs a year, either spinning out or being acquired from us. We did 4 spin outs last year, we'll probably have 4 this year. Now, the relationship we have with Incubate, we are doing mentoring in a few different areas. One of the areas we've been doing a lot over the last couple of years is user experience design. We have some of our UX designers come in, help the startups, the Incubate startups, understand users, spend more time with users, know how to approach users, know how to get feedback from users, know how to validate value propositions that they have. Obviously, it's very easy for a startup to not go out and talk to users, but of course they need to be out there and doing that. And the UX focus is a little bit different from your typical business approach to checking value proposition, and it's always very much focused on the user. And I think it's been going very well. We've been doing that in Sydney. This year we actually did it in Melbourne as well, so with the Melbourne Incubate guys at Monash. What I'd like us to do more of is we'll probably start from the next session doing more software engineering mentoring and also more data analytics, constraint-based optimization. We have some of the world's top machine learning researchers and constraint-based optimization researchers. And a lot of the high-tech startups make a lot of use of data analytics and optimization. We could very easily connect a lot of the startup incubators, the Incubate startups into some of the world's experts in some of these fields to really give them a kickstart with those sort of technologies. Now, so I'm hoping all the Incubate startups are very successful, but I actually don't care if they are or not. The startup number one, hopefully it'll be successful, but if it isn't, that's okay, right? Because what the program's all about is teaching the co-founders the skills they need, and startup 2 might be great, startup 3 might be great as well, but also even if the career that the co-founders go through ends up being through big business, that's okay too. Because what I'm really noticing at the moment is this dearth of experience of the type of skills that the co-founders are learning, the idea how to create value, how to capture that value, how to disrupt industries. And what's happening now is it's not just the large companies, the large Australian companies now, they're past the stage of just funding accelerators or just acqui-hires. I mean, there's still a lot of acqui-hiring going on. You get car rental companies buying car sharing startup companies and so on. But you're also starting to get much more creative approaches by a lot of the large companies. Just in the last week alone, Nick, we've been approached by about 3 of Australia's largest companies wanting us to get involved in helping them transform themselves. But a lot of the large companies now realise the level of disruption that's going on, not just in journalism, but in education, and law, and financial services, and this massive disruption happening now. A lot of these companies recognise they need to disrupt themselves before they get disrupted by others. So they're actually getting quite creative in the approaches they're taking, in the way in which they're collaborating with others. The sort of skills that the Incubate startup co-founders are getting are the sort of skills that the Australian industry sorely needs, and I'm sure all the people here today, if they don't choose to do their own startups, I hope they will do their own startups, but even if they don't, those skills won't be wasted. And what I'd encourage anyone here to do who isn't already a sponsor of Incubate, if you're in a large company, you can do a lot worse than give a reasonable amount of money to Incubate and help yourself, help your own company by getting more flow through from the sorts of ideas in some of these co-founders that we're working through now. So we'll continue sponsoring Incubate, and I hope others will too. So thanks. Thanks, Bill. One of the things we really like to stress for our startups is the idea that these students are embarking on entrepreneurial careers. And while this might be their first venture that doesn't go anywhere after 12 months or runs out of money or can't get enough users, or for whatever, many of the reasons startups fail, that they'll be on to the next startup within the next 24 months, and the third and the fourth. Because if there's anything that history shows, that repeat entrepreneurs make the best entrepreneurs. Okay, now we're just about to start the pitches. If you've never been to a demo day before, I want to give you a quick overview of the pitch format. There'll be 8 startups pitching tonight. There'll be 8 startups pitching tonight, and there'll be questions from our esteemed panel. Quick introduction, Petra Andrin from ATP Innovations, Bill Simpson-Young from Nicta, who you just saw, and Bill Barty from Blackbird. All 3 are mentors for the program, and all 3 have been heavily involved since the beginning, and it's fantastic to have you guys down here. Thanks so much for giving up your time. For the investors out there, all the startups have completed a 14-week accelerator program through Incubate. We've got some startups that will be looking to raise seed capital within the next 6 to 12 months, of the ranges of $100,000 to just over $1 million. As I mentioned, we're looking for seed and early stage investors, often with startup or industry experience. And please do fill out the startup survey, which will be emailed to your inboxes at the end if you're interested. And now for pitch time. I'd now like to invite our first startup on stage, Jack from Stanford.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jack, rocket scientist and co-founder of STEM. And with me up here is Bronnie, our astronaut, and she's on a mission to take science to a whole new level. Now, STEM, with the silent M, is a network for scientists, engineers, and makers to share their projects and discuss their ideas and experiments. And already, we have an amazing community from leading organizations such as MIT, Stanford, European Space Agency, and even NASA. So now that I have your attention, I'd like to start by telling you a secret. An astounding 75% of the world's scientific output is inaccessible. Now the 75% includes things like your code, pictures, videos, data sets, documentation, everything leading up to your final results and conclusions, which isn't published in your final paper. So while this final paper, the 25%, brings in Nobel Prizes, it's in fact the 75% of data that's where the true drivers of science innovation lies. Because this answers the questions of how. How did the scientists get to the final results and conclusions? By answering the how, this allows other researchers to be able to build on top of your work, and instead of wasting time on really getting the experience that other people have found, you're avoiding the pitfalls to actually use your time to answer the questions that matter. And so that's what we do at STEM. We allow that bridge to be there. And so as a researcher, scientist, or even a hobbyist in your garage, you can come onto STEM and browse other community-sourced projects by their fields. Once you have an idea, you can easily create your own project page, blog about your progress to your followers, and if you have a question, you can post a question to all your followers and get answers from experts in the community, those who might have the experience, or that 75% of data who can then, which isn't previously accessible, and help you get over that hump. So over this past 3 months at Incubate, we've launched our MVP and are currently in a private beta program with a thriving community of 400. And they come from leading space organizations all around the world, including MIT, Stanford, European Space Agency, Lockheed Martin, and NASA. And among some of our most amazing members, we have Wolfgang, who's gone out and printed stickers for us and given talks all around Germany. And this particular picture up here, he's actually giving a talk at the European Space Agency, their astronaut training center. So you can actually see the space shuttle just happening at the bottom of the picture. And we also have Fraz, one of our volunteers who just emailed us. He's been so inspired by our vision and our mission and our solution, most importantly, that he's decided to go out, assemble a small team, and really help spread our message to over 102 universities in India. So right now we have over 91 projects from all around the world being created on our site. And you might think that we're very space focused right now. And yes, indeed we are. Because, well, rocket science, and because Space is our first step to marketing strategy. We want to dominate the space sector. And to do that, we're partnering with some of the most amazing space organizations around the world, including the one you see above here. To give you a better idea of our progress, that's where we are. And space also makes for the perfect initial target market, as it's where all the sciences and technical fields converge, which will allow us to expand into other fields like robotics and electronics in 6 months, and towards all the other sciences and technical fields in 9 months, because this problem is endemic throughout all the sciences. And at month 12, we can begin exploring different monetization strategies, the most interesting of which is recruitment. The platform that we've built allows us to provide employers with a much more valuable set of tools to actually evaluate engineering talent, rather than just rely on your LinkedIn profile or CV. So to do that, we've got an amazing team, with Jackson on the back-end dev, David on front-end, and Josh, who does a bit of everything, and myself, doing the business side of things. So to really help us accelerate growth and to grow our community, we're looking for $180,000 in the next 3 to 6 months. It should be roughly broken down into $160,000 towards the development costs, while we further build more features that our customers have requested, and also $20,000 towards marketing and really helping our community thrive. And this will give us sufficient runway for 12 months to take us to our first 100,000 users. So we have an amazing team, and we've got a beautiful platform, and we're solving a really big problem in science. But not only that, we're trying to make science a lot more accessible. So every one of you here can go on our website and start building projects, start building on top of each other's ideas, and want to inspire a whole generation of curious minds. Just imagine, what if we can actually speed up the pace of science? Where would we be now? How might that change the way we tackle our problems like climate change, our economy, or our population growth? But more importantly, as rocket scientists, we just want to get to Mars quicker. So if you believe in our vision and would like to join our mission, please come and see us after the pitch. Thank you.
All right, we're now going to launch into a Q&A from our esteemed panel. Petra, do you want to kick off? Yes, please do.
Love the lab coat. Nice touch. Speaking of the microphone, love the lab coat. Now, as somebody who works with scientists on a daily basis, I have one burning question. I'm all for it, I love it. I wish there was more collaboration. I often get annoyed when I realize that one university group is working on a particular problem that another university group is also trying to attack, but they don't know about each other.
Yeah.
So, my burning question though is, how do you go about IP, intellectual property? What sort of projects can be shared, and how do you address that to make sure that people really do collaborate? Because that's obviously a great obstacle.
Yeah. So you bring up a really good point, where different universities, even though they might be working on very similar things, there's very little intercommunication there. That's exactly how our idea started. We're working on a satellite project, and another university at UNSW was working on the same thing, but there was just all this redundant research. But with regards to IP, there are definitely IP concerns, especially with some ideas which can be commercialized. But at the same time, when you're sharing some of these projects and results, you're not just giving, but you're also getting back. So part of that is you can get back as much as you need to share. The more you share, the more context and more information other experts have to actually better answer your questions and provide the help that you really need.
Just to follow up, so is it true also to say that you're targeting primarily students rather than academics?
We're doing a bit of both, but we're finding a stronger adoption rate with undergrad students, not so much the postgrad.
Thank
you. So what's the incentive for a particular scientist to put, they've got this information already, right? They've got all the data about the work they're doing, they're spending all their time trying to meet publication deadlines, they've got full data already. What's the incentive for them to actually put this put it into the format that you use?
Yeah, so let me walk you through an example. Say you were doing like a bit of research paper that you're going to publish. instead of getting feedback right at the end with the peer review process, you can actually get feedback throughout your whole process of actually finding out that information. If other people have done particular parts of that experiment, if you let them know, if you share some of your project information, they can then come and tell you, say, this part, what you're doing, I've done, it doesn't work, you should try that or that. So that's the incentive there, where you're actually you're saving a lot more of your research time and actually doing innovative research.
And is there an example of a scientist who has actually done that?
No, not quite, because right now we're in our MVP, and we've actually launched without a full set of features. So in the next 2 months, we'll be implementing a lot more features that have been strongly requested, things like Q&A, forum, location-based things, where we can allow much better collaboration and communication.
Yeah, so I'm biased because I grew up with Apollo, so I love the idea. I love the fact that space is the final frontier, so that's good. So are you trying to be a recruitment site, or are you trying to be an idea sharing site, or both?
So our main focus is definitely the whole idea sharing.
Right.
Actually getting scientists, not just scientists, but students, makers, talking to each other. So we'll be just as happy if it turns out to be even a free service like Wikipedia.
Yep.
Recruitment is just something we thought of to answer these monetization questions.
Yeah, sure. I thought so. So one thing, so just in terms of the site itself, if I want to explore something, I just go on and do some sort of a search and find a project and click on it, and I can find out all about it. One of the things you might want to think about doing is incorporating a communication tool, something like Slack, so that people can have a channel to work on things rather than just clicking on something. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so right now we're more about communicating between teams rather than within their own little groups. But that is definitely something we're considering down the line.
Yeah, because I think that would help your collaboration, especially with teams from all over the world. They can link into other teams.
Yeah, definitely.
So recruitment was just an afterthought?
It's one of the ways, because once we have a big community, we can monetize that in a lot of different ways.
What do you think is the best way?
Right now, recruitment will probably be the one we can monetize the earliest.
Right. Okay.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome our second startup for tonight, Emily from Q.
Hi, my name's Emily, and I'm the founder of Q. The frustration of sitting in the doctor's waiting room is perhaps one that many of you have already experienced. The average wait time in the US is 45 minutes, and it's a similar case over here in Australia. Now for me, 45 minutes was 45 minutes less in the day in order to work or to go surfing. And that was enough to put me off going to the doctor. And instead, I found myself in the emergency room 2 days later. So to fix this problem, we've made a mobile app that sends you notifications to keep you updated. It's unintrusive, and it's really as easy as this. First, we'll send you a reminder. Then, before you arrive on the day, we'll send you a projected delay or perhaps an on-time status. When you arrive in the clinic and check in, we'll notify you of the time remaining. So even if you're in a 2-hour-long walk-in queue, you can leave, go get a coffee, go shopping, and we'll notify you when to come back. After your appointment, we'll send you a notification to prompt you to book a follow-up, so that if you do need one, you won't forget. Now, swiping any of the notifications or opening the app will take you to a screen with more information about your current status. Now, our systems are fully integrated with medical practice software that's used by around 35% of practices and growing every year. This means that there's no action required by doctors or by receptionists, which is really important. Now, we create value for practices in 3 ways. Firstly, we help to consistently deliver a convenient experience for patients, so they can win new patients and then win their loyalty. Now, have you ever gone to your doctor, or wanted to go see your favourite doctor, but then swapped at the last minute to another because you were scared of the wait time? And why is it important to keep going to the same doctor? Well, studies actually show that if you go and see the same doctor on a consistent basis, they can give you a higher standard of care in a shorter average visit time, because they know you and you trust them. And I can attest to that. I always go and see the same doctor, and now she knows me, she can deliver a higher value of care to me and take a greater role in it. She'll even text me or email me after my appointments to check how I'm going. This is something I'd wish for every patient. Q makes it easier to see the same doctor on a consistent basis. Secondly, Q helps clinics to optimize their scheduling model. We provide them with detailed, real-time information about their patient flow. And this is something clinics have told us they're currently really lacking. Thirdly, through the app, patients can update their details, check themselves in, and do other legally required administration. And this reduces the burden on poor receptionists, so they have more time to do high-value work. It also helps practices to comply with accreditation requirements, which practices actually find challenging. So we started customer development in December, and this was positive. 15 out of 15 practices were interested to trial. In February, we started our development, and by the first week of March, we were fully integrated with practice software, and we had a web app in order to demo to clinics. We're just 2 weeks away from launching our pilot program. Our strategy is to work closely with our pilot practice until June. This is to refine and deepen our product before we launch to other clinics. We will offer every clinic a free 5-month trial in order to prove to them our 60-day return on investment. We will look to sign up 5 practices per month, charging a rate at $130 per GP per month. We aim to grow aggressively year on year at 300%. In the States, companies improving patient satisfaction are growing at 47 times revenue growth. And we set out to challenge this by going global from day one with an app so simple that even my granny can use it. That gives us a milestone at the end of the year of 32 practices converted. Now, with the background in statistics and economics, I've acquired quickly skills in user experience and app design. I was connected through Incubate with my developer, Andy Murphy, who's been the sole developer of Q. Now, after our pilot period, we're looking to raise $220,000. This is to fund 2 developers for 12 months in order to build out our feature set. Through talking to clinics, we know the features we need to build in order to integrate with GP super clinics and large networks of practices, because they've told us they'll integrate with these features. This means we can sign up more doctors per month, and we can increase the rate of subscription based on providing them a higher value. So, now you know that I place a high value on time, because it's something you can't get back. You've all given me your time tonight. Thank you.
So, nice job, Emily. One thing I didn't quite understand was you said that, I think it's a great idea because we all get frustrated standing in lines and not knowing what's happening. Everybody's been on the plane sitting there and there's no excuse as to why you're not taking them. So it's a good problem to solve. But one thing I did not understand was, you said that it's good that you hook in with the existing systems, but you said that there's nothing required for the doctors or the receptionists to do. So how does that work?
Yeah, so this practice still have to do everything you do already. It means no additional work. So receptionists will currently check patients in, and then when doctors open their booking, that means we know when the patient goes to see the doctor. So by integrating directly with the practice, we know exactly what's going on as patients move through the system, and we're translating that information to all the patients who are using the app.
What does that mean if a patient is our doctor's running 30 minutes late, that the receptionist has to press a button and send out a bunch of stuff that says everybody's 30 minutes late?
Our systems, based on what's happening in the clinic now, will project into the future what the delay is. And if that changes significantly, significantly, we'll send out new notifications so patients can arrive at the best time.
Obviously follow up. So just related to love it, can't wait to use it. And just one on that. So the 35% of companies are using software. Yep. Do all of those 35%, what percent of those companies, have you done some look to see whether they are actually updating the times within the schedules to reflect reality? Because my expectation is they don't update that quickly.
Yeah, so from talking to practices, that was some of the questions they asked as well. But what if doctors leave their patients' records open, because they tend to do that and come back and update the patient's notes at the end of the day. But we've worked around that, so that doesn't matter if doctors leave their patients open. We'll always take the most current patient's details.
And just to relate, so the software that's already out there, 35%, they haven't started going down to themselves?
No, there's two main players, so we're integrated with one of them, and their strategy is to provide APIs and enable lots of other companies to integrate with them, because they see lots of players in markets as providing extra value to their service. So they actually really support people integrating with them and aren't trying to compete. The other player are trying to do some of it themselves, but still provide the ability to integrate.
I think the beauty of your system is that it's so simple for the user, though it's not as simple as perhaps it's being presented. So I know that there's some clever algorithms and things to work out or make sure that the patients are on time. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, again, through talking to clinics, the main thing they're concerned about with the particular waiting thing, because it's so new, is that what if a patient comes later and then the doctor's ready before the patient is, because doctors will try to catch up when they run late. And we've actually built in a buffer so that doesn't happen. And interestingly, actually 90% of patients arrive on time for their appointments. So if we project them a time, 90% of people will stick to it, which is quite reassuring.
Thank you so much. I can't believe it's not already out there. Where have you been, Emily?
Thanks. And if you want to know when Q's coming to a clinic in your area at home or work, come see us at the back so we can send you an email when we do come to you.
That's great. Okay, on to our next startup. I'd like to invite Joel from Docket.
Hey everyone, my name is Joel and my co-founder's name is Will, and we're Docket. So tonight I wanted to talk to you about a really interesting problem that we had personally, and a really interesting solution that we came up with to solve it. So basically, I watch a lot of videos online, particularly technology videos, and I find it really hard to know at a glance exactly what I'm about to watch. And it's really difficult to find exactly what I'm interested in within a long video. And I think this applies to a lot of people. Viewers find it very difficult to know what content they're about to see, and they find it very difficult to really find what interests them in a long video. But it doesn't stop there. For content creators, so people who upload videos, they miss out on viewers who are too afraid to watch a particularly long video, and they really miss out, given that a lot of their viewers have a poor experience. And search engines can't look inside of a long video easily and retrieve information. So one of the first things that we looked at was how other people had solved this problem previously. And we found that YouTube had a service called annotations. And basically annotations sit above a video. They're hideous, they're really difficult to interact with, and we didn't think it was a particularly elegant solution to the problem. Another way YouTube tries to solve this issue is playlists. And basically you can imagine if you have a 1 hour lecture video, you can chop it up into lots of different sections, upload those different sections, and label them individually. But there's so much overhead in doing it in this way. And again, we really didn't think this was an elegant solution to the problem. So we've come up with a much better solution. This is our jump cut player, and we're super proud to launch it. Basically, you can see on the right that all of the highlights of the video are presented to the user front and center. They don't have to wade through the video to find what they're interested in. And by clicking on any of those highlights, they can jump directly to that specific part of the video. But most importantly, we didn't just create it for this one video here. We have created a generic tool that lets people create these players for any video on YouTube. So it's very easy and fast to create these players. All you have to do is choose the video, any video on YouTube, define the highlights, you can do anything you want. And then we offer a shareable URL, an embed code, so you can put it anywhere online. So who are the customers? We want to work with content creators. These are people who upload videos. Now, their favorite video platform is YouTube. It's the world's biggest video platform. So we work with any video on YouTube. You don't even have to own it yourself. Another really important thing that we realized from talking to content creators was that they really care about being able to share their videos through many different channels. So we work across social networks, and we allow content creators to really easily embed their videos on their own website as well. And from talking to content creators, we found out that a lot of viewers are now on mobile. For some content creators, over 50%. So we really put a lot of time into making our player look fantastic on mobiles and tablets. But perhaps the most important aspect for content creators was to really understand their audiences. And what we realized that we were in a unique position because we had chapter data for all of our users' videos, and also all the data about how end viewers were engaging with these chapters. So now we're able to offer a really advanced analytics engine out of the box to all of our users. We're really proud that this is not a speculative product. We launched this month. We have 35 YouTube content creators on board that are pushing out videos to about 28,000 subscribers. We absolutely love our users. They come from so many varied disciplines. So you can see the top video here is a guy who uploads cooking recipes, and he splits his videos into different ingredients, and he uses our tool to do that. And at the bottom you can see this is a university maths lecturer who uploads his tutorial content, and he splits it up into different parts of the problems. We have a very simple pricing model, so it's free for the first 10 videos, and then if you want a premium account, you can pay $10 a month, and you get a custom, completely non-branded player, and you get the analytics engine. You can put unlimited videos. So we're starting on a very focused market that we feel is particularly applicable to this tool. So that's education and instructional videos. But we really are not going to stop there. We're very interested in many other sectors, everything from news media to sports to finance to support videos. We think there are just so many different uses for this particular service. We both come from very technical backgrounds in computer science and software engineering. I work on the design and front-end aspects of the solution, and my co-founder, William Archinal, handles all the back-end development. So we're not looking to raise money today, but what we are looking to do is to really get introductions to YouTube content creators, because we think we can benefit them a lot through using our service. Thanks so much. We'd love you to try out the tool. Thanks.
That's fantastic. Brilliant. So now your first 35 content creators, how are you choosing who to approach to? Presumably you're approaching people you think would be good. How are you deciding?
So that's a really good question. To begin with, we've really looked at local content creators. So we've approached people, particularly with big subscriber bases. So one of our favourite early users is a UNSW maths professor, and he already has a big YouTube following. We found him through YouTube, and he's really engaged and gives us a lot of feedback. So we're able to sort of tailor the tool based on feedback that he gives.
Yeah, so I love the idea. So one thing I was wondering is, how do you actually figure out what is inside the content? Is that left to the content creator? And if it is, how do you sort of scale that in a really, really big way? Is there any kind of
So no, it's a great question. At the moment, all of the annotation, so all of the labeling and chapters is done manually. So the content creator themselves has to do that. But automation is definitely an area that we're very interested in and we're actively looking into at the moment. But that what's really nice about labeling the different chapters manually is that is great for SEO for those videos, and it's great for the analytics as well. So it has some benefits.
I'm a little bit blown away, actually. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Don't really have too many questions. I do actually, I have one burning question because I met you half an hour ago, and you were about to tell me about your vision, and then somebody came and whisked you away. What's the vision? Where's this going to go?
Yeah, so this is just the first step of really serving content creators in a much broader way. So we think it's a really interesting set of customers that are probably going to be the future of education and really at the forefront of many industries. People who push this kind of video content. So we want to begin with, we think chapters and highlights are something that they've asked for a lot when we go to approach them. But in the future, we see a much broader set of tools. And everything from video transcript to more advanced analytics, helping them understand their audiences. This is just the first step to really looking at a much broader suite of offerings.
Fantastic, thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Joel. Now on to our fourth startup. I'd like to invite Beryl from FoodPod on stage.
Hi everyone, my name is Beryl Trong. I'm one of the co-founders of FoodPod, which is a technology platform that connects farmers directly with the end consumer. Let me firstly introduce you to Lily. I love Lily. She's a fifth-generation farmer who's dedicated to producing, growing clean, natural, super fresh, excellent quality food. She doesn't have a big farm. Instead, she's dedicated to the traditional farming methods. However, farmers like Lily are doing it tough. Our current food system is heavily industrialised, dominated by supermarket duopolies around the world and in Australia. We hear a lot about it, that farmers not getting a fair go. They're getting as little as 10 cents back of the dollar for their hard-earned and grown food. The rest of it is going into marketing, distribution, storage, sometimes as long as, say, a year or even more. You've heard the stories. And that money is also going into big business profits, which is great for shareholders, but not so good for the future generation of farmers. So there has to be a better way. So what do they resort to? They resort to farmers markets where they can deal directly with the customers. But these farmers markets leave them open to weather risks. So if it's a bad weather, people are not turning up, or if it's good weather and they're going to the beach, their produce is put back into the truck, driven back to the farm and dumped. It's a lot of wastage and it's certainly not sustainable. So what is the alternative? So let me talk to you about a quiet revolution that's going around the world for the last 10, 15 years. We've seen the rise of a neighbourhood food co-op. Families dealing directly with farmers and wholesalers in garages like that, where the farmer is growing the food, picking the food, and delivering it to the garages. These are seasonal boxes of food. So this is part of the growing collaborative consumption trend that we're seeing, and so it's not happening just in technology, it's also happening in food. And this garage happens to be a friend of mine, and I've been running this food co-op for the last 3 years with about 20 to up to 50 families. And we are returning at least 85 cents to the dollar for the farmer. So it's great for the farmer, but it's been really hard work and painful for us, unfortunately, because it's been administratively very difficult with spreadsheets and very, very intensive. So co-ops around the world have a barrier to entry. They're usually not advertised. You're lucky to find one because it is so difficult to get the administration going. So that's where FoodPod comes in. We're looking to connect these farmers and families directly using technology. So let me explain what a pod is. A pod is an existing food co-op, like what I've talked about, a neighbourhood co-op, or it could be a new group, such as a community group, a school, an office, basically anywhere where there is a critical mass of demand. So I'll explain about a school. A school is a natural pod because there are families who pick up and drop off their kids, they need to pay for weekly groceries, and schools are always strapped for cash. So Food Pod is working in partnership with schools to give them a bit of a fundraising, to give them a fundraising opportunity where a small percentage of each box sold goes to paying for school supplies and much needed equipment. The schools are loving it, so we've had really good reception so far. So there's a win-win situation for the pod as well as for the farmer, building a much more sustainable future for our food system. Our journey so far within Food Pod has been really exciting. So we've created a web platform that has automated the heavy administrative burden for online ordering and order fulfillment, and we'll be going to mobile app. During the Incubate program, we've converted the pod that I've been running at 100% rate. We've got currently 20 families, so we've restricted it to, and processed $4,800 worth of orders. We have also started the school trial, very, very enthusiastic from the school administration and also the parents associations with 140 families in total being told about the pod and a 9% conversion rate. So in the last few weeks of the trial, we've successfully processed about $5,800 worth of orders. Now, if we take a step back and look at last year, we actually processed $70,000 worth of orders in just my co-op. So you can see that the potential, that's just one co-op. Our pipeline over the next 12 months is an exciting 7 farmers that we're currently talking to, 3 schools who are waiting, and 32 families in another neighbourhood co-op that are waiting to trial this. But we're really wanting to work closely with the schools at the moment to try and embed the system. We also are looking at supply lines outside of fresh food. Our business model to monetize it is to get a transaction fee. We're not charging the schools, but the transaction fee will be passed on to the farmer. And they're fine with it. They said they have to pay for a tractor. It's a cost of doing business. Now the total size, market size we're looking at is big, and we want to disrupt it. About $20 billion is spent on fresh food in Australia alone, and $2.5 billion of that is spent at farmers markets, and this number is growing. So it's really exciting. In 3 years, you can see it's doubled. The market participation, people going to farmers markets, people caring about connecting directly with farmers and food is growing. And our team is experienced. I started when I was 5. So we've got corporate management experience. My tech co-founder has a lot of experience. And then we've also got other people involved who are actually involved in the co-op, the food co-op we were running. And we all have young families. I've got 2 little children. So we're really passionate about this, and we will make it work. So that's Food Pod, and if you like what you hear, we'd love you to join us. See me at the back at the end. Put down your name if you're interested in starting a pod, or if you know someone who could get us entry into a school, please let us know. We want to disrupt and give an alternative to the current industrialized food system. Thank you.
I really love what you're doing. Can you talk a little bit about what happens once you've established a community, a food pod, as you call it? Because you talked a little bit about, was it supply lines outside of fresh food? Is the idea to do more around collaborative consumptions outside of food, or what's the vision there?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you. That's our secret vision, or not so secret, but it's what we want to do is land and expand. So start by concentrating our efforts on the farmer, direct farmer relationship with fresh food. But then a lot of the co-ops around the world, including our co-op, weren't just about fresh food. We got into dry goods such as nuts, flowers, seeds, canned goods. cleaning products, etc., and all done, administratively in that, heavy way. So what we want to do is build the community, embed loyalty into that community in weekly purchasing, and then we can really expand into other lines such as, mass toilet paper purchases, or cleaning products or whatever. And it's all about building the community. So we go direct to, if it's a farmer, or it could be a wholesaler, but just going direct and cutting out all the middle players as much as we can. Thank you.
So just one thing that's missing for me, how does the food actually get from the farmer to the co-op or wherever it's being delivered? So you have all these people who place their orders, and then each particular food basket, I assume, is picked with various things.
Yes.
And delivered, but how does the food get from the farm to the pick and pack place or wherever it is?
Right, the farmer actually picks the food, packs the food on the farm, and trucks it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the people at the co-op actually put it together?
No, so that's the beauty of it. I've been in co-ops where we've had to pack the food. No, in this way, the farmer packs the food in boxes, and we also have what we call extras. So you could get an extra kilo of potatoes or 2 kilos of carrots or whatever. And so it all gets delivered by the farmer or her helpers to the garage, and then the system spits out automatically pickup sheets where people come in and tick off and pick up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So, so 2 questions. Firstly, I didn't quite notice you said it was 85% goes back to the farm and 50% goes to you guys, but you said the school gets some funds. What cut does the school get, and where does that fit in?
Right, okay, so the school can put on a fundraising of, we've suggested 2% to them. So currently, we've said 85 cents back to $1 now. The school can do it for free, or they can do it for fundraising. In fact, we thought that when we first went to schools that they would just love the fundraising idea, but they actually found it secondary. To them, the biggest part that they really loved was the community building part of it, and also the education. They're excited about the farmer coming out to educate kids and having farm-to-gate tours. So it's sort of like secondary to them, but it's our aim to talk to them.
And just the other question, so with the model, what's involved in setting up a particular pod? So you need to have somebody at the school who's going to run that community.
That's a great question. Okay, so the way who runs it and who sort of drives it. So the neighbourhood co-op. So I was driving it along with some friends, and we were paid in free food. So for the last 3 years, I fed my family for free, fruit and veg. Yeah, so that's the farmer's payment to us. So that will happen with the school. So for a certain ratio of boxes ordered, she will give free boxes to the school. So the volunteers who are the school champions will actually get to feed their family for free. So if any of you are interested in feeding your family for free, please let us know. We'll put your name down and you can be a pod champion.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mara. That was fantastic. It's a really, really interesting startup that we applied, and I encourage you all to go have a chat at the end. We've just passed our halfway mark, so we've got 4 more startups to come on stage. If you have a mobile phone and you're on Twitter, please do check the hashtag DemoDaySid. We also are live streaming on Periscope right now, thanks to Mark Pesci. It is Periscope, right? Fantastic, thanks to Mark Pesci on the front here. I'd now like to invite our 5th startup on stage, Andrew from Docket.
Hi, my name is Andrew, co-founder at Docket. And Docket is a marketplace which allows you, the consumer, to go online and to book any appointment all in one place. But it also allows those professionals, those hairdressers, those laser clinics, the ability to manage their clients and their business in that exact same location. Now, we went out, ladies and gentlemen, and we found a problem. And that was at a staggering 73,000 hairdressers are wasting their time doing things that don't matter. They're spending 22,000 hours on the phone every single week, 44,000 hours afterwards collecting payments. And this is amounting a total of $1 billion wasted value every single year. And the great news is we can recover this. And what's even better is that hairdressers only make up 8% of the problem. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There are 250,000 SMEs out there, and hairdressers are only 8%. So our solution can help solve the rest of the issue. Now, what's even better is that this market is growing at a crazy rate. What we see here is SMEs are adopting cloud SaaS software in record numbers. In fact, in the next 12 months, we're expecting to see 30% of SMEs jump onto this software. Now, this positions Docket perfectly because we are right in this space. When we look at the competition, we see it divided down the middle. We see on the left, on the right here, we see the CRM players, right? And these are loved by businesses because they really provide you with the specialist tools. You know, you can manage your POS system, your accounting, you know, they really love that. But then on the other side here, we've got the marketplace, which you and I both love because it gives you that place where you can find businesses, you can see what your mate's saying about them, you can see how cheap they are, and you really get a good decision-making process. Now, there's a bit of an issue here, and that is we believe the two should not be separate, rather complementary. And that's why Docket has joined the two into one solution. We are Australia's first CRM and marketplace solution. Imagine the synergies when you join these two forces together. Businesses now understand where their clients are spending their money, how much they're spending, where they're coming from. This is data which before today was never given to these small business owners, and we're empowering them with this data. Now, it's all good and well to talk about the market and all that, but what's more important is what have we done about it? Now, I'm glad to say to you today that in 5 weeks, with one salesman on the road, we made 16 sales with a conversion rate of 12.72%. And this was really good for us because what it did was allow us to align our strategy and really understand our business model. And that is, as you can see, these are clients, we aim to focus on that hair and beauty vertical. As I showed you at the start, it is 8% of that market. And we really want to take learnings from this market in order to create a repeatable business model which we can apply across multiple sectors. Now, we ran a case study on one of our hairdressers, Evie Hair and Beauty. And what we found from our survey results is that people love the fact that they can book outside of business hours. Now, this is a little anecdote. How many of you guys, you come home after a long day of work, you're sitting there, you want to book your hairdresser, your PT the next day, but you can't. The place is closed. You can't do anything about that. Now, in a world where you can get your movies on demand, you can get Netflix, anything on demand, why can't you book your services on demand? It should be the exact same thing. And we aim to solve this. The other piece of feedback we found was that our software, our website, was very simple and easy to use. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, you've got your haters, right? Everyone's got haters. Our haters told us that we really need an iPhone app. And you know what? I actually want one too, and I really want one. They also told us that they want to grow this market. They want to see more businesses on board. And these are things that I really share with them. These are pain points I share. But to do that, to fix it, we really need your help. And that's why Docket would like to raise $300K in order to solve this. We want to get developers to build an iOS app. We want to service the clients who've signed on and continue to serve new clients. And we'd like to pursue an extensive marketing campaign to accelerate the growth of our marketplace, to get up to 800 businesses in 12 months. Now, our business model, it's based on the core fundamentals of a monthly subscription package. We take currently $20 a month from businesses, but this is going all the way upwards of $100 a month as we gain more traction and more users on our site. The other thing is, we have transaction services. And we plan to allow users to pay for their appointments upfront, and we will take a click of the ticket, monetizing Docket. We also plan to allow businesses to upsell goods. I mean, you know, you've got that favorite shampoo, that favorite gel you like to use. We're going to allow the hairdressers to push that straight to you as you make that appointment. And last of all, we've got value-add services. We want to give premium services such as SMS notifications. And this is really good for them because they can really notify their clients really quickly. But as well, it's good for us because we can gain margins over 100% per text message. And just to note, we're planning to facilitate over $300,000 worth of appointments next month. And last of all, I'd like to introduce you to my brilliant team. Now, this is a group of young, passionate, driven individuals. We really want to change and disrupt this industry. We want to flip it upside down. And to do that, we've also got a great bunch of advisors. We've got Andrew Rothery, co-founder of Archer Capital, who's really got a lot of experience behind him. And he's really given us solid learnings. I mean, we just had a whiteboarding session with him last week, and he's really handy. We've also got Chris Gable, a proven CEO and a senior advisor at Macquarie Bank. And last of all, we've got Will Shannon, an industry leader who will really guide and narrow down our strategy when it comes to targeting our vertical. So I really thank you guys for coming out here today. I really would like to thank my developers for working really hard on this project and getting it to where it is today. So you can see us at the booth at the end. You can call me, you can text me. But all I want at the end of the day is a message in my inbox tomorrow, 300K at getdocket.com.
I'm not sure I got the details of the functionality proposed, but yes. So to solve the problem that you stated at the beginning of saving the hairdresser's time and so on, you're assuming that there's going to be prepayment for services. That's pretty key to it, right?
So yeah, part of the problem is at the moment these hairdressers don't have enough time to just manage all this stuff. So yeah, there are two ways. You allow people to book online, and you manage the payments.
So do you have reason to believe that people will prepay for that type of service online? I mean, have you done any sort of experiments to
actually in the States, there are a bunch of competitors, and as you saw them on the board, My Time, for instance, includes prepayments upwards, and people are more than willing to get on board. And the great thing about prepayments actually is that it reduces missed appointments. So what you found in multiple of these businesses, they don't like the fact that people are booking and missing them. But when you prepay, your willingness to miss the appointment actually decreases.
$300,000 is a lot of money for an early stage business. I would like to know a little bit more about how you're going to use that money. Let me just elaborate a little bit. Obviously, selling to SMEs is a slog, big time. Tell me a little bit about the marketing strategy.
So our strategy at the moment, right, it's pretty intensive. I mean, we're going out on our feet, going door to door, trying to sell. But this isn't obviously a long-term solution. And what we've realized from our advisors is that it's best to go after franchises. And we see that franchises are a big opportunity because what you can do is, there are 53 franchises in Australia actually. If you can sign just one of them, you can gain instantly around 100 small, medium-sized businesses. So this is actually the best distribution strategy for us to go, and it's really good for us to scale this way.
Yep, so Andrew, love the enthusiasm.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. It's a good email too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Hey, so you said the idea was to get 800 businesses by the end of the year, paying somewhere between 20 to 100 bucks a month, right? So that's somewhere between 16,000 and like 90,000, depending on the math. Your charge per month. I mean, is that what you want to do, revenue-wise? And just to follow up on Mitch's question, so the onboarding process and the marketing process, did I understand you correctly say you want to take that online and get out of the door knocking business?
Yeah, exactly. So customer acquisition is really important to get people, if you want to reduce the cost, we need to get people to onboard online. So one of the ways we're doing that at the moment is implementing a setup to a implementation method. So they go online, they set up their business, and they can do it all from there. Is that,
And then you said 800 businesses, so could you just, what do you think the average price is going to be? You said 20 to 100 bucks.
Yeah, so when we look at the competition, actually, we see that competitors are charging upwards of $100 a month for selling these businesses. So it's not unrealistic to say that these businesses will be able to afford this.
Have you tested the price?
We have tested the price, and at the moment, $20 a month with our clients is not a big ask at all. So it's pretty low.
Do you think 100 bucks is not going to be an ask?
We're still going to look at, but what we see is from the market, the sensitivity, we find that they're willing to pay that already.
I'm just curious, who is your biggest competitor? And what is it that makes people come over the line to you?
So in the Australian space, we see Health Engine and we see First Available. Now, the difference is that they're really focused on the medical space, health. Now, we see that they position themselves as a solution for just health. But what we see ourselves is a solution for multiple verticals. Now, what we've noticed is we've actually got a health practice on board. And we've found that there are similarities in the problems between the health practitioner and, surprisingly enough, the hairdresser. So if you can solve these common issues between two different verticals, you're on a winning solution. So that's what we're really trying to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. I must do a special mention as well to that team. They've achieved a huge amount during Incubate, so I very much encourage you to go at least say hi. Now to our sixth startup, I'd now like to invite Naj from QuickSight on stage. Thanks, Naj.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Naj Sumro, the CEO of Cricket Science. The vision of our company is to marry sports technology and sports medicine in cricket to reduce injuries and improve performance. A bit more about myself and my team. I'm a medical doctor by background. I'm also a sports scientist. I am currently doing my PhD in cricket injury prevention at the University of Sydney in collaboration with Cricket Australia. And I'm a very keen cricket player myself. I've captained my university team and my school teams in the past. So that's my passion. In terms of my team, I've got Habib and Josh with me, who are my developers and chief scientific officers. Now, cricket is a game that is played across 96 countries in the world. It is Australia's favorite summer sport, and 2 days ago, Australia became the world champions in cricket. And I was actually there to watch it. What is more exciting in cricket than watching a Mitchell Starc or Wasim Akram to come in and ball fast? Nothing else. That is the most exciting thing in cricket. Fast bowlers bring in excitement, thrill, and speed to the game. But with that, they are also prone to injuries. Recent research has shown that up to 55% of the fast bowlers can get injured at any time point during the cricket season. These injuries lead to a severe cost in rehabilitation, and it's estimated that the average cost for rehabilitation for every fast bowler is around $5,000, and they can remain away from the game for up to 12 months in case if they have stress fractures, which are quite common in cricket. So a few years ago, Cricket Australia got together and made this weird formula. And I don't expect you to read the slide because none of the coaches read it. They came up with a formula suggesting that fast bowlers at different ages should bowl different number of balls in X number of sessions. Since it's so complicated, none of the coaches follow it. Since it's so cumbersome, none of the fast bowlers count the number of balls, effectively getting injured. And that is the #1 risk factor. So the solution to this is very simple. we are developing a wrist accelerometer that a fast bowler will wear at the time of bowling. That wrist accelerometer will automatically calculate the number of balls they have bowled. As soon as they have reached the quota of balls they need to bowl, it will send an alert to them on real-time basis. All this data is going to be also sent to the coach and the medical staff associated with the team, so they can keep a track of all the bowlers. The journey has been amazing. I have been involved in this project since 2011. In 2012, I was so interested that I started to do a PhD in cricket injury prevention. In 2014, I came across Incubate, which basically gave me an idea to commercialize the research that I've done. Since the start of this year, I've been involved with the Sydney Uni cricket team in terms of my prototype testing. Midway this year, we are looking to start our crowdfunding, and the start of next year, we are planning to make our product available to international cricket teams to use our product on the big stage. Our vision is that as every cricketer needs to buy a helmet when they go to play cricket, every fast bowler should buy this wrist accelerometer, because not only this wrist accelerometer would reduce their risk of injuries, but also it will increase their life in terms of bowling. And in the future, that will give us a greater pool of fast bowlers and more exciting times in cricket. A future strategy is to expand into other unilateral throwing sports such as baseball, tennis, javelin, etc., and develop tailored solutions for these sports. If we look at the global market size of hand-worn wearables, in the next 10 years, it will be $3.4 billion. We want to tap into this industry and provide the solution to reduce injuries and improve performance. Last week, I was involved in organizing the 5th World Congress of Science and Medicine in Cricket. I met up with Dr. Peter Bruckner, who is the Chief Medical Officer for Cricket Australia. I also met up with medical teams from West Indies, India, England, and South Africa. I shared the idea with them. Everybody loved the idea, and they said, if you make such a solution, we will be the first ones to get it off you. I also got in touch with people from the Indian Premier League, that is IPL, that is one of the biggest cricket events. And Kings 11 Punjab, which is one of the major teams in the IPL, has actually shown interest in using my prototype product in their next season. Currently, we are looking to raise $160,000 in capital, which will actually fund us to go for the next 12 months and commercialize our product. I want to thank and say a special thanks to the Incubate team who has supported me throughout this journey. And for those of you who are interested, please come over and meet me, and I will tell you more details on our venture. Thank you very much for your time.
So not just very quickly, anything else besides, do you plan to do any other products besides just an accelerometer for fast bowlers? Is there anything else that you
Yes, absolutely. So we want to develop some coaching tools for the coaches as well. One of the key things for fast bowlers is swing bowling. So if they don't swing the ball, they get hammered all over the place. So if you put an accelerometer on the wrist, the bowlers will get real-time feedback as to where the wrist is going, and that will actually help them swing the ball. So that is something we are looking at. We are also looking at another solution of putting sensors on the bat, and then it will tell the players where they are playing the ball and where the ball is hitting on their bat. So things like that.
Just following up on that, how many fast bowlers are there in Australia? Who are you targeting? Just professional teams, juniors, or can you just talk a little bit about that so I understand?
Yes, fantastic question. At the moment, it's estimated that semi-professional, professional people playing club cricket around the world, there are 100 million players playing the game currently, actively, at some sort of competitive level. So if we are looking at the global reach, we think that at the moment, the product would be viable for at least 30 million fast bowlers around the world. And we are looking to reach every level because workload, that is the number of balls bowled at any particular time point, is the #1 risk factor. So this product is for all fastballs.
Are there any existing wristbands that are fitness wristbands out there that you could just put software that runs on a smartphone that works with that provides the same functionality, or is there any special aspect of the hardware that you need to do that?
Yep, the unique point about this product is algorithm. There are fitness apps out there that measure your distance you run and measure your acceleration, but none of the apps actually have the algorithm that can give you the number of balls ball, and that is exactly our novelty, that we are developing this algorithm and testing it out, and that will give us a competitive edge.
So you don't need a custom wristband. You use someone else's wristband, just have the software on it.
So we can potentially use open source accelerometer from the market and put a code on it.
All right, thanks, Naj.
Thank you.
All right, on to our second last startup. I'd now like to invite Philippe from Zonda Design.
G'day guys, I'm Philippe, the co-founder of Zonda Design. Now at Zonda, we seek to empower designers with technology. Designers put their heart and soul into the work that they do. They seek to create beauty in detail. And yet currently, designers are required to memorize hundreds of application-specific shortcuts, or alternate between multiple keyboards or plastic keyboard overlays with application-specific shortcuts printed on the actual keycaps. Now, as you guys can imagine, not only is this inefficient and costly, it's frankly frustrating too, because every application needs a slightly unique user interface, a slightly optimized set of keys, just for it. So, what's the solution? Well, my co-founder and I have spent hundreds of hours with designers developing a keyboard, but not just any keyboard. We have developed an e-ink keyboard, which adapts intuitively to designers based upon whatever application they're using. Literally, at the click of a button, designers can have the most powerful features of Photoshop or Illustrator right at their fingertips. And when they're not working, they can switch between any language or custom icons on their keys, for instance, a gaming layout. Now, our target market are the 3 million designers in the Western market, and later, the 55 million PC gaming enthusiasts globally. Our primary competitor is a Russian design firm whose extremely high-end keyboard retails at $1,800 US. Unlike our competitor, we use new e-ink technology, which means we can sell our keyboard at 17% of the cost, at $299. Now, given that we use different display technology, this means we can scale and commercialize the production of our keyboard far cheaper as an original manufacturer. We will also acquire customers through a crowdfunding strategy and through B2B sales with design firms. Later, other commercialization options could include licensing our design to third parties. Now, our competitive advantage includes, firstly, our innovative use of new e-ink technology. Secondly, we have filed our first provisional patent application, securing both our hardware and firmware design, and expect to file a further 2 applications shortly. We've also filed a design registration and trademark too. Thirdly, we have partnered with a senior engineer with over 30 years of experience in electrical engineering and a Taiwanese manufacturer who ships millions of units annually. Now, in regards to our awesome team, I've completed a law degree and I'm currently studying IT and commerce at the University of Sydney. My incredibly good-looking twin brother Francisco and co-founder is currently studying engineering and has over 2 years of professional experience in supply chain optimization. At Zonda, we're also joined by Simon, the Managing Director of Architect Design, a leading Sydney engineering firm, and Gary, an accredited designer and fellow of the Design Institute of Australia. In regards to traction today, at 9 AM today, we officially launched our pre-order campaign and have raised $20,000 already, which is pretty incredible for a startup, which is barely 4 months old. We've also been awarded $15,000 in match funding as part of Innovate New South Wales MVP grant. So how can you guys help us on today? Well, firstly, if you know of any influencers in the design, tech, or media space, be sure to connect us. Secondly, if you know of any companies who may perhaps be interested in purchasing a bulk order of our keyboard, we want to hear from you today. And thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, we want you guys to be the first early adopters of our keyboard. So pre-order your very own today for the special deposit of just $49. Be sure to visit us at our table after, and I'll process your order right then and there. So join our vision and help Zonda create infinite possibilities at your fingertips. Cheers, guys.
So could you just explain one quick thing? So you said it's EE. So is the keyboard backlit, or is the how does the different?
Well, given that it's that's a great question, Bill. Yeah. Given that it's backlighting is an issue, so what we're developing currently is just exploring different alternatives of using LEDs around the actual keys or on the front of the actual keyboard. So obviously project light onto it, right, but also the fact that it's a clear key mechanism that will hopefully distribute your light dispersion. Okay.
I know a lot of people who are really excited about getting one of these. Now, they have to be gamers. I haven't spoken to any designers yet, so tell us a little bit about that. Well, just in terms of how you segment your market, because I mean, designers is a very broad term, isn't it? The designers that don't use so many shortcuts, there are others that are quite proud of, they're stuck in the way, it's not going to change because they've memorized all those shortcuts. So are you targeting the ones that come straight out of tech, or are you, who are these people that are going to start using it tomorrow? Early adopters.
One of the issues that we've realized during ongoing customer development is that a lot of designers are pretty much guns at what they do, so they've pretty much internalized all the shortcuts for various applications that they use on a regular basis. So one of the issues, or one of the interests that's been shown, is from early adopters in design. So people who are really, how would I say, at the beginning of their journey as a designer, this will ultimately enhance them in their journey to learn the different shortcuts for various applications and ultimately provide, how would I say, further inspiration when they're doing their work on a daily basis.
Sure, I'll put this up. Sounds great. Can't wait to buy it.
Cheers. You going to create one today?
Yeah.
I expect one. Cheers.
Thanks, Greg.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And a double thanks to everyone who's standing at the very back. Sorry that we couldn't provide enough chairs for everyone today. But we're on to our last startup. I'd now like to invite Peter from Atomology.
Thanks, James. Atomology has built the world's first microscope that can see every atom in a silicon transistor. Seeing this information is seeing the DNA of silicon, and it presents a new opportunity. Decode the DNA, understand how silicon works, and design better transistors. We call this new microscope the atom microscope by projection. The atom microscope can be used to image a range of materials, from structural steel to electronic semiconductors. The atom microscope enables Atomology to design new materials and do it cheaper and faster. I'm Peter, and we are Atomology. The core of this team has worked together at the University of Sydney for the last 10 years. We've worked with some great industry partners. We've published in top journals, and we've created materials with record-breaking properties. We know the pain of trying to design new materials. And most of all, we know the problems that need to be solved. The fundamental problem is that materials engineering is unpredictable. It's unpredictable because we don't understand the DNA. We don't understand the DNA because we can't see it today. This leaves conventional engineering in an experimental trial and error paradigm. It's time consuming and it's expensive. Atomology's solution is the atom microscope. This is a digital instrument. The digital data enables a computer-based design approach. Sequence the DNA, decode it, design it. In case I haven't been convincing, take Barack Obama's word. In 2011, he announced the Materials Genome Initiative. Since then, $250 million have been invested in the entire life cycle of materials engineering, from fundamental research to 3D printing to recycling of materials. Atomology will provide the atom-scale information, the materials DNA, to accelerate the discovery process and reduce the cost of getting new materials to market. And how big is that market? Well, it's measured in trillions, the global advanced materials market, and it's set to double in the next 15 years. We're going to focus on the steel and semiconductors markets. Steel, because it's the biggest for new patentable materials, and semiconductors, because they spend proportionally the largest on R&D. Now, how do we make money? Well, we're not going to do what you might think, which is the obvious, sell microscopes. Instead, Atomology provides 3 value-added business-to-business services. Sequencing to provide materials DNA data, decoding to provide information about this data, and design to optimize this information and design new patentable materials and manufacturing processes. We have an 85% gross margin on our services, and we have 10% royalties on patents that we create. Sequencing, for example, starts at $20,000 and can be done in a day. Our competitive advantage is the microscope. Its resolution is 10 times the closest competitor. We have patented technology, and this enables the unique computer-based design process. Visually, you can see the comparison here. These are 2 top-end, expensive microscopes at the bottom. The bottom image shows structure, the middle image can show chemistry, and the top is the atom microscope, and it shows structure and chemistry in 3D. Atomology will establish its first facility in Boston in the USA. This is to be closer to our customers and also take advantage of a strong funding market. We project our costs will be about $2.5 million. By June this year, we will line up pre-orders for 12 months and get prepayment of 20% in advance. This still leaves us with $1.7 million shortfall, and in July, we'll look at doing a seed round and also applying for government grants. To make Atomology a success, we know we need the right relationships. This is a list of the advisors, partners, and customers we're in discussion with. Chris Yu is a world expert in materials design. Liquid Metal has provided in-kind support. Kamika is the leading hardware designer. And Apple, IBM, and Cochlear all have problems only the atom microscope can solve. So this is a 0-to-1 opportunity to create a new computer-based approach to design materials based upon their DNA. We have 10 times technology, an expert team and partners, and a strong market pool. We're pretty excited about this, and we'd love for you to join us. Specifically, we're looking for advisors with nanotech startup experience and investors interested in our July round. Thank you very much.
So, Peter, first, congratulations to you and your team. That's an awesome problem to solve, and the fact that you guys have done it is really big. So, very cool. So, just talk to me a little bit more about the services a bit in terms of how you make money. So, I didn't quite understand that. Do you have an automated process when you sort of examine these materials, or is it human interaction every time?
There's human interaction involved, but only in the preparation of the material and then to start the machine. The machine runs on its own. I said that sequencing might take 24 hours. Well, it takes a day, it might take 12 hours, possibly less, depending on how much data is required, and it does it on its own. Nobody needs to be at the machine.
And just following on from that, the business model of the sequencing design and the new materials manufacturing process. So the 10% of the patent royalties from that patents that are created in that third step, is that?
That's right.
And so the patents will fall out of the work that you're doing fairly naturally?
Yeah, so this is the business model, and it's not necessarily conventional, but that's what we're putting in our negotiations. We're saying this is the way we want to set it up, and it also is a bit of a co-investment from us. So if somebody's going to say, all right, you guys we can see you've got the capabilities and you've demonstrated it for X and Y, and what we say is that, well, we're going to be co-invested in anything we take on from you as well, because obviously we want to see those royalties come.
So you are not selling microscopes, you're selling the services. Are you, in terms of the business model, I wasn't quite clear, are you looking at partnerships with other hardware manufacturers, providers for the microscope, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so the hardware partnership is to really accelerate the development of the instrument itself. And there may be some equity or something we will trade that as opposed to just raw dollars. But to build the instrument ourselves, like to say build a team of engineers, that's all possible. It would cost more and it would take longer. If we get a hardware partner like Kamika, for example, it would shorten that development life cycle and it would cost something.
And my last question, so if I was a potential customer, why would I come to you rather than giving up a bit of my patents, rather than going to City University and get the same service done? I know it's not the same service, but this is what I want to get to. What is it that makes you so much better other than just the precision? What is it that, what's your value proposition to me?
If you're a materials developer,
yes,
I would say that you can't get what we've got anywhere else.
And what is it that you've got?
The materials design process, the DNA, understanding the DNA of materials, designing new ones. Nobody else can do that.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much, Peter. I must say, that's exactly the type of startups we love to see at Incubate. World-leading researchers who can see an opportunity that have a massive impact, as well as our student startups that you've seen all night before, who've seen the opportunity and want to make a real-world impact as well. Now, obviously, I know I'm the last person standing from you and the drinks, but I have just a couple of thank yous. Number one, thanks very much to our esteemed panel here at the front. Can we please give them a round of applause? Number two, I'd also like to thank our startups. Can we please give our startups another round of applause? And number three, I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming tonight, supporting young and up-and-coming entrepreneurs. And please do stick around for some drinks. Meet the startups who will be at the very back tables if you want to chat to them, or network with each other. If you're interested in investing or following the progress of the startups, you can complete this survey. It takes less than 2 seconds on your mobile, or come grab us and we'll give you a card that you can fill out as well. Thanks very much for coming to our 5th demo day, everyone. Have a great night.
Glad you guys liked it. It's really such a last mile. They're really all looking at that I tell you what, getting this not that. All right. Thanks for
Considering the room is the one graphic.
Yeah, it turned out fine. I was very worried about it, but
Well, it started from a couple of times, it's sort of almost repeat itself.
some of the guys were like, it was almost continuously singing. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Sorry, did I just mess up here, man?